Alongside the celebrated Māori leaders and warriors of our history, there exists another group of remarkable men and women. They were visionary and courageous and led Māori through times of massive upheaval in Aotearoa. In this series, we'll journey through the epic stories of the prophets of our people. What were their messages and visions? Did their prophecies come to pass? Do their words still have impact today? Will they guide us tomorrow?
At the beginning of the 20th century, New Zealand laws were doing as much damage to Māori as had the wars of the previous century. Land confiscation by force may have ended, but land was still being taken legally by the native land court system. Rua Kenana's pacifist beliefs had come from prophets of the past, but he had a new vision for Māori self-determination in a modern world. The combination of the theft of land, poverty and disease decimated the Māori population. It was popularly believed in settler circles that Māori were a dying race. Rua was born in 1868 after the death of his father, who was one of Te Koti's followers at Makaretu. His mother's tūhoi whakapapa connections to Te Koti was central in Rua's life. He was raised in the teachings of the Ringatu Church and the aura of Te Koti's prophecies. Rua worked in the Pākehā world, gaining skills in agriculture that would be useful later in his life.
Ka mate tana pāpā, ka noho me tana whāia, me nā hiwi ki mauna pōhatu, ki roto o te waimanato. Ana ka tukuna ki te mahi, ka hari te mahi mā nā Pākehā. I reira tana tīmata tana mai. I hare i mahi ai nā mahi a te Pākehā pēnei te whakawātea hare nei. I nā wāhi hairere nā mo te wai, a kia putai mai runei nā papatai, ai nā mahi kāna, ai niwe tahi mahi atu anoa nā Pākehā, ana kāko hare hiai a mea, ka tiro hiai. A pē hea te wai mea hare a te mahi, hare a te ahu whenua a te Pākehā. Kui rā katoa nā mōhio e wahu hiai e ki roto iai ato.
After Te Koti's death in 1893, Rua proclaimed himself to be the man foretold by the late prophet who would help Māori regain their land. At first, he was not believed.
Ka whakapono maina koutou kia māku koutou hai ā rahi atu. Ki te kāina ko whakaritea mai mō tātou katoa. Hai wehe ia tātou, mai roto i te ao o te Pākehā ko whakaurua ki roto ia tātou. Kia korei e pā nā mahi weri nā mahi kino a te Pākehā ki runa ia tātou. Ana, ko tērā me hoki katoa tātou ki uta, ki te take o te mau. Ko tērā āhua a te rua i whakaaro hiai e ia, ka rei hara mai ā tanata ā kiko. I heke ā wairua mai tērā. Ka whakatō hiake ki roto i tōna whatumana. Aha koa anō tana ako hia i roto i nā karaipi ture.
On Maunga Pōhatu, the sacred mountain of Tūhoi, Rua had a potent vision. Figures appeared to him. The Archangel Gabriel, a Tūhoi tipuna, Rua's spiritual father Te Koti, and even Christ himself. Another taonga was revealed to Rua on the mountaintop. Under a shawl, he found a diamond. After this revelation, Rua travelled to Poverty Bay. The kōrero states that while there, he rode Te Koti's white horse through the sacred house Rongopai, thereby further claiming Te Koti's mantle as prophet. After his declaration that he was Te Koti's son, Rua had gained little support for his new faith, but now these powerful visions gave credibility to his religious beliefs. Iria Raukura, the leading tohunga of the Ringatū Church, recognised Rua as the Messiah who would complete Te Koti's work. Iria baptised Rua in the waters of the Waipawa River with the name that Te Koti had given for the one who would follow him, Hepetipa. In May of 1905, Rua began a pilgrimage from Maunga Pohatu to Gisborne to fulfill his prophecy that on the 25th of June he would ascend the throne and the King of England would arrive at Turanga. On his journey, Rua took a mysterious box. By day it was strapped to the back of his horse. By night it was guarded in a tent. The mysterious box inspired awe. Rumours flew among the followers. Was it the Ark of the Covenant holding the remains of the 10 Commandments? Did it hold a mystical diamond, a sacred Māori stone? Was it full of money to give to the King of England to buy back stolen lands? Rua came to a beach near Gisborne one night in 1906 with a growing group of followers. They came to wait for the manifestation of the prophecy that the King of England would come across the oceans to meet with them. I have no idea what was in the box, and even if it was empty. But in a sense, it doesn't really matter. The box was an article of faith, a potent sign of Rua's spiritual mandate that he was the Messiah predicted by Te Koti. When the predicted king failed to appear, Rua said to his followers, "I am that king. Here I am with all my people." In 1907, Rua led his followers back to Maunga Pohatu to build the City of God. This road leads to Maunga Pohatu. At Maunga Pohatu, Rua would find his vision, and his people would come together and they would find freedom, and they would find sanctuary, and they would find hope, and his prophecy would come to life. Maunga Pohatu is the sacred mountain at the centre of the Urewera forest and its Ngai Tūhoi people. It is both cathedral and temple. This is where the prophet Rua Kenana took his people to build his city of God.
Nā whakamoemiti ka whakahoki atu, tō tātou matua nui te rani, nāna nei, nā mea katoa I hapa. Te ao o nā mātua o nā tīpuna. He whakapuno tō rata, he whakapuno I konei mua te taihana mai o tau. He whakapuno ki nā atua Māori, ki te pūtai au ki te ao e noho ana rātau I roto. Engari, ka tae mai a tauri, me āna tikana. Ka whakahurihia, ka pēhia, ka whakamoehia ētahi o au āhua tanara. Kia noho tā rātau ki runa, ia tāua I te ao Māori. Kia noho koirā hai whakapono mō tātou. Engari te wai o tātou tīpuni, he whakapono rātau. Whakapono tunu rātau ki nā tohu o te rani. Ki nā tohu o te whenua, ki nā tohu o te pūtai au, nā tohu o nā wai, o nā awa, o nā haki. Nā te mea tō rātau honona, ā wairua ki te whenua, puta mai ai rātau i roto. He hōhonu tō rātau whakapono ki e rāma.
After his anointing as the Messiah who would follow Te Kōti, Rua constructed his city of God. His followers were the Iharaira, the Israelites, the chosen ones, mostly tūhoi and whakatōhia. These followers famously grew their hair in what they perceived as a Jewish style, and their scriptural focus was zealous. Rua's teachings came from the book of Revelations, that there would be a new order, a new Jerusalem, and that the 12 tribes would occupy the city. Rua's grand vision extended to the architecture. There was Hiona, the famous roundhouse, a place of politics and worship. Like prophets before and after him, Rua used imagery to identify and magnify his vision. Whether it was precious stones or unique architecture, or even everyday playing cards, Rua used symbols or tohu to stake out his people's place in the world. These everyday symbols represented everything from entertainment and hospitality through to religious iconography. And they lifted his people's eyes from the everyday grind to the far horizon.
What he was using was, again, contemporary imagery. And so he decided that there were older images that he could have used, but he decided he needed to signal that this was a shift. His community was shifting away in many ways from the past and looking to cement themselves. And he chose these specific images which were so distinct that they are, again, they're used by contemporary artists, again, to think about Rua and think about his kōrero. And thinking about card playing, even the social aspect of card playing that we see, certainly when I was growing up, and we'd have tainui coming up north and they'd all be out with the cards and so forth, really part of who we are as a people and that social interaction.
The physical and the spiritual came together in Rua's vision. Rua dreamed of stock routes, rail and road links, which would have made Maunga Poatu a kind of hub for the central North Island.
I was at Matahi at a hui with the people down there. Ka pātai au ki a rātou, ko wai a te rua mō koutou, he poropiti, a ka puta te kōrero kāo, he atua. And I thought, oh, he atua. And I thought, aye. They looked at Rua as being he atua. Now, engari ka whakaaro Pākehā koe, ka raruraru koe, nera, me whakaaro Māori koe. Ko tō rātou kōrero kia hau, if you look at Maunga Pōhats in the time of Rua, he moved whole communities of people from Waimana, from Matahi, from Ruatoki, from Opotiki, and he moved them up here in the middle of winter. And he built a community for 1,500 people. And he rebuilt that community. And they said to me, that was 100 years ago. Who can do that today? And they said, only an atua could have done that. And I thought, ka pai tōku te whakaaro.
Rua's vision was costly. To fund the development of Maunga Poatu, he negotiated the sale of vast tracts of tūhoi land. The numbers of his enemies, Māori and Pākehā, began to grow. As they looked for ways to rein him in, others continued to look to him for healing. This brought Rua up against a new generation of powerful Māori leaders. Advances in medicine and healing techniques were of the utmost importance for the new wave of Western-educated Māori leaders of the Young Māori Party. To differing degrees, this new Māori political elite saw faith-based healing as cures that belonged to another age. And they were out to target quacks who made a quick buck from vulnerable people. In 1907, the Tohunga Suppression Act made it clear that lawmakers were doing more than just taking aim at alternative healers. Every person who gathers Māoris around him by practicing on their superstition, or who attempts to mislead any Māori by professing or pretending to possess supernatural powers in the treatment of any disease or in the foretelling of future events, is liable for prosecution. It's no coincidence this act was passed just a year after Rua established his high-profile community in Maunga Poatu. To the powerful, here was another agitator using biblical references to offer an alternative vision to the people.
Here's the Bible, here's the treaty, they interpret each other. They enter into a conversation with each other. Why did Rua love the Bible? Because the whole of the Old Testament and all of the prophets, the whole of the Old Testament is making a statement that God does not like injustice. God stands for justice. In the time of the prophets, they all went through one thing, all of them, and that was land alienation, raupatsu. And the Bible has a lot to say on raupatsu.
Rua's theology and Old Testament phase stagnated at a certain point. From a thriving township of 600, the population shrank to just 30 families. Rua and his wives retreated from Maunga Poatu to rethink. He returned with a new vision, the New Covenant. His theology moved from Old Testament to New. His followers cut their hair. Rua changed his rules of tapu. The pacifist principles established earlier in the community became even more important. With this change of theological direction came a new view about the town's buildings. Rua ordered that the magnificent hiona be pulled down.
Anei pia he tau uta ko te whare tūne. Me tahi atu o nā whare o Iharai. A koe ne hui tētahi whare kai hia i aroto. Horai nai nā tēpu ki roto i te whare nei, pānei hia i te manuhiri roto i tēnei whare. Koe rā tētahi āhuatana, i hiki nā i ia, tēnei mea te tapu. Kia kore e noho pēr hei whakararuraru i te noho a te iwi. Ko tētahi atu ko te āhuatana o nā me ki pēr o nā tapu o tua whakarere. Ko nā wāhi pakanahia, tanumia, nā ranatira, wē rātu momo mea, wē rātu momo wāhi. I noho tapu ai, ka haere, koe rā te mahi, he hiki haere i nā tapu o aua whenuara, o aua maraera, kia kore wē rā āhuatana e noho. Enari, ākua tērā, ko etahi wāhi ka rekau tāia te hiki. Kai te noho whērā tonu ki tēnei rā. Ka rekau nā tapu rai tāia te tano atu, te wewete atu.
With the arrival of 1914 and World War I, there was a general distrust of communities that espoused pacifism. There were rumours that Rua had conspired in some way with the German enemy. The local magistrate had no love of Rua and was suspicious of the community of Maunga Poatu, famously arresting Rua in 1911 for making alcohol illegally. Many forces agitated against Rua and his community, and on April the 2nd, 1916, everything came to a head. Rua Kenana had built a sanctuary in the isolation of Maunga Poatu, but with the changing times, suspicions hung over the community. This put them in the crosshairs of the government agenda of crushing Māori resistance.
I raru ke ngā mahe te kāwanatanga. He tango i te mana o ngā tohunga, he tango i te mana o ngā rangatira. I te korenga e mutu tūturu ngā mahe o ngā tohunga, ka huri ki te mahi ture, hei aukati, hei patu, hei hāmene, he mauherehere i ngā tohunga.
An armed force of 57 constables sent secretly from Auckland, Gisborne and Whakatane descended on Maunga Poatu. Rua and his sons Whatu and Toko and other followers waited to greet them at the marae. Rua was seized while standing unarmed. At the same moment, a shot was fired. In the ensuing melee, 2 Māori were killed, one of whom was Toko. After Rua's arrest in 1916, this flag of his expressed unity between Māori and Pākehā, but was seen to be an example of sedition. Rua's faith in one law for both peoples was sorely tested by his arrest and trial. The arrest itself was illegal, and his trial was to be an extraordinarily drawn-out affair, the longest Supreme Court trial until 1977. Rua was sentenced to a year's hard labour and a year and a half in jail, a total of 2.5 years. The accusations against the police of wrongful arrest and the summary execution of toko have never been officially investigated. By the time of his release in 1918, Maunga Pōhatu had become dilapidated. Many had left. There was, however, a new face among them. Presbyterian missionary John Lawton had arrived in Maunga Pōhatu some months earlier. Although he and Rua found themselves initially at odds, a strong working relationship grew between them, culminating in the building of a school for the children. This relationship with the Presbyterian Church endures to this day.
Ka ki ia kāti, me waihoake te ahuatana o nā akotana o nā pākeke kiau, me heri atu e koe ana ko nā tamariki. Akona mai ko nā tamariki I roto I nā mahi mātaurana o roto I te ao o te pākea. Kia mua hoai ki te pā nui, kia mua hoai ki te whakahua tētahi ki tētahi roto I nā mahi o te ao kai te huki. Ana mai reira te tī matatana mai. Ana no muri mai ka piri rā. Tino hoa ke rā. Tino inoho, tino hoa a hoani rāua ko te rua. Ana ka kaha tō rāua piri. Ka noho rāua he mahi tahi, e karakia tahi, e kōrero tahi. I roto I ia rāua mahi aha koa, he rereke te hāhi o tētahi, tō tētahi. Engari ko te whakaroko tahi tonu te atua. Ka ri rereke.
Rua continued to evolve his vision, and the community continued to transform. Another group of buildings were erected to recover from the tragic death of Toko. Sadly, Rua's dreams of economic prosperity for his people, to go alongside their spiritual well-being, also faded in the face of a difficult environment and an obstructive government policy. Rua eventually moved to Matahi for an easier life. This was Rua Kenana's last home. He died here in the Matahi Valley in peace in 1937. He was a spiritual leader who became known as the new Messiah amongst his followers.
Ka tika hoki a poropiti anō kai roto I tēnā. Kai roto tonu I te tanata. Tērā tauna nuito e nohoa. He wā tōna kāputa. Kāputa tawa poropiti mai roto I te tanata.
Ina hoki nā mo te whakapapa, te pakaru tikana, a hoeno, koe nei kai te mihi atu ki te korau ane. Nā te mea, I runa I wōku mōhio, tino miharo nei tā tātau no I tēnei wā. Nā te mea, ara hoki ko te iharaira, ko te Presbyterian, ko te Mormon, ko te haere rori noa ho tēne. Ko tātau kato. Engari kai te no I runga I te wāhi kotahi. In
Rua Kenana, Aotearoa had a prophet who straddled two eras. The 19th century, in which religion was the dominant social force which influenced every aspect of daily life. And the 20th century, the age of modernity, where religion would be fighting to share the stage with other social forces. Rua was an inspirational spiritual leader for a dispossessed people who needed a vision. Rua's story has echoed down across the decades as a vibrant symbol that keeps alive the issues Rua fought for, justice and Māori autonomy within a faith framework. Issues that are as relevant today as in the time when a city of God rose in the deep shadows of the Urewera forest. on the next episode of The Prophets. From a humble farming background, Taupōtiki Wiremu rose from his encounter with the Holy Spirit to realign Māori both politically and spiritually. Taupōtiki Wiremu was not just one of the greatest prophets Māori have known, but I believe in terms of his impact on a people, one of the greatest of all time, and maybe the last.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.